Welcome to this Monday adventurous weekend. Actually, Deets. Let's get into it, man. How you doing today, Deets?
I'm doing great.
Go
chalk
blue,
another win
go
up.
blue, go
Put,
blue.
put another win in the win column, man. Fifth Down Sports was on this from the beginning. Matt Rule is now the coach at Nebraska, as predicted. The minute he was fired, I said Nebraska has a new head coach, and
Let me
everybody
ask you
said
this,
no,
though,
he
Deets.
won't go there. He won't go there. They're gonna get somebody high profile. Nope. Matt Rule is now the coach, now the head coach at Nebraska.
Let's go into that. So you telling me Carolina's still paying this man, and he got a job?
Mm-hmm. It's nice when you can fail upwards, right?
I always thought he was a college coach anyway. To be honest with you.
I always thought so. I never understood. I didn't understand the hiring from him. I didn't understand that Carolina hiring him from Baylor. I mean, Baylor. He did a great job at Baylor, but Baylor was never. It never looked like an NFL team. They always looked like a college offense, and that's what he
And look
tried
at
to
that
run.
offense in Carolina,
And you saw what happened. It didn't. It did not fly.
and look at that offense Carolina they was doing, man. It definitely looked like a college offense, maybe a high school offense. Like,
It,
and
it,
Carolina got the win yesterday. So Matt Rule was the problem.
Matt Rule's offense was it was not NFL. You need NFL guys to coach at the NFL level. That's the way it works. When bringing these college guys, if you bring a college guy into the NFL, they have to have a sense of what the NFL is. You can't just bring guys in and say, "All right, run your college style offense," because guess what? Running a college offense, you're going against NFL. In the NFL, you're going against college all-star teams. You're not going against Southwest Missouri State. Like you're playing the best of the best in college, and those guys, the defenses are more athletic. They can cover the college offense. You can't bring these guys. You can bring them in and be coordinators and stuff like that. But to be the head coach, it takes so much more at the NFL level. So this is a note to all these NFL guys. Hiring from the college ranks, it's not going to work unless you have a guy who's been at the NFL level.
Yeah, is it different from like a retread like Pete Carroll? He did it before. You know what I mean? It's a big difference. He was with New England. Then he went back to USC. Then he came back to Seattle. It's a big difference from that. You know what I mean? You ain't starting from square one. You know what I mean? So it definitely is a difference.
Yeah, and you look at the way Pete Carroll run. Pete Carroll never ran he ran a pro style offense. He ran a pro style program at USC. They weren't running plays that, all right, our guys are just more athletic than you. No, they were running actual pro concepts of, trap blocks and it wasn't just, all right, our 11 guys are better than your 11 guys. Like that's the way a lot of these college offenses are they're set up to, we have a better player than you guys have, and we're gonna run him out of the ballpark. Usually it's the quarterback. We have a more athletic quarterback, so we're going to use that to our advantage. Well, that doesn't work in the NFL because the quarterbacks aren't better athletes. the defenders are better athletes than the quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. Like you even look at Mike Leach. Any receiver came out of Mike Leach's offense never succeeded in the NFL. Look at Crabtree. He struggled. You know what I mean? Like you don't want somebody come out that, you know what I mean, what's that shit, the air raid receiver. They really don't do really good in the NFL.
The only one you can look at is Wes Welker.
Yeah.
He's really the only one that but when you look at how Wes Welker developed, Wes Welker wasn't the top. He wasn't a top receiver. He wasn't the top receiver even at Texas Tech when he was there. Mm-hmm. He wasn't the top guy. He was the mid-level. He was a mid-level receiver. He was a mid-level receiver in Miami, and then all of a sudden he gets brought to New England, and we all
call like whatever. Yeah, I'm still taking Julian Edelman over him.
Absolutely.
When it comes to clutch, you gotta take Julian.
I take Julian Edelman over Wes Welker every day because when Julian Edelman had to make the big catch, he did. Go look at the Falcons. Go look at the Falcons Super Bowl. When he had to make the big catch, Julian Edelman made it. When Wes Welker had to make the big catch on 4th down against the Giants, ball hit him in the shoulder.
Don't do it, Deets. God. I don't know which one hurts, the drop pick by Asante Samuel or the drop. Like, I'm just going to call it the drop. Yeah, straight through his fucking hands. Straight through his hands.
I'm not a Patriots fan, but to me, the worst was Wes Welker because the ball hit him right in the hand. It hit him right in the chest. Hey, there was no reason. And if he catches that, the game is over. If he catches that,
it's over.
It's the end of the ball game.
It's over. And I just I felt sorry for Randy Moss so bad. Like, I was like, damn, Randy gonna get one finally. Nope.
No. Because the thing about Asante Samuel is Asante Samuel should have picked it off, ran it back for a touchdown, sealed the game over. But then he compounds it by falling down and leaving Plaxico Burress wide open on the very next play. The very next play, he falls down and Plaxico Burress is running wide open in the end zone for a game-winning score.
So, man, let's get into some controversy. You know, I'm the biggest troll of, on the Snowman in the Morning thing. What was your thoughts about what's your thoughts about the chat this morning?
We all know what it is, and I've said this a million times. When you have the arguments of greatest of all time, it all depends on your category, and it all depends on your criteria. If your criteria is you're not allowed to lose in a Super Bowl, then okay. I mean, anybody can bring that up all the time. Oh, Joe Montana was 4-0 in the Super Bowl. Okay, how many losses did he have in the championship game? As I guarantee he's got more NFC. I guarantee you he's got more playoff losses than Tom Brady does.
And I feel like it's like the same thing. We can use this analogy. You're a baseball guy, right? That's like saying you're not going to put Cal Ripken as a top 10 shortstop. That's blasphemy. Because he only got two MLB championships. You know what I mean? That's asinine.
That's like saying, and I'll say it. I'm here in the Northeast, and y'all can bring it at me. That's like saying Derek Jeter was a better shortstop than Cal Ripken. There's no way.
Exactly.
There's no way. Cal Ripken was a way better player than Derek Jeter, but Derek Jeter won championships because he played for the Yankees, and Cal Ripken played for the Baltimore Orioles.
Travesty. I love my boys, but they trash. I'm sorry. But man, Deets, let's move along, man. Let's go into let's start with college football. Man, how did the Big Blue do that to Ohio State? What's he expecting to score? We was both watching the game a little bit together.
I was not, the first half, I was not expecting that. The second half, Ohio State did nothing. It's almost like they went into halftime and were like, all right, well, we're going to go out and do the same thing. They didn't adjust at all. They didn't adjust their game plan at all. And Michigan went into halftime and said, Blake, we can't run you. You're hurt. So we're throwing. We're going to throw the rest of this game. And they put the game in J.J. McCarthy's hands, which is what Ohio State wanted them to do. But Ohio State never adjusted. They kept going man-to-man on the outside. And Cornelius Johnson showed why he's a top player. I mean, Cornelius Johnson has been a top player. Ronnie Bell has been a top player. I didn't understand why Ohio State kept going kept letting them go one-on-one and kept just letting them burn everything.
Yeah.
It's not like Ohio State was close. They were running 20 yards away from everybody. And at no point did Ohio State say, maybe we should keep a safety in the middle of the field.
That's why I was looking for that adjustment, just like you said it. Like, why don't you put some safety out?
They never made that, and we saw. I mean, everything for Ohio State crashed. CJ Stroud, the CJ Stroud's Heisman Trophy is gone. Big Ten championship is gone. We'll see what happens on Tuesday, but I would assume that the playoff is gone. I would think that I would think they drop. It depends on where they drop to, but I would assume that they drop behind Alabama.
That they had to like.
I would assume Ohio State is going to drop down to 6, and there's not enough room. There's just not enough room. I mean, people are talking about whether Michigan or TCU whether they could lose and still make the playoff. I mean, Georgia, we know Georgia can lose and still make the playoff. It's going to come down. It's going to come down to US. It's going to come down to USC, Alabama, and Ohio State. And
USC looked good too, though. USC looked really good against your boys.
They did. They did against Notre Dame. They played well on defense, and then they went into USC mode, which it's just why I don't like this team. And I don't even like them if they get into a playoff, it's going to be a disaster. They just go into modes where they just decide. I mean, they let Notre Dame come back into the game in the fourth quarter. They took their foot off the gas. They were playing so good on defense, and then they just stopped playing defense.
Yeah, I didn't understand.
I don't like that from USC. And USC is going to get a test. They're going to get Oregon again.
But look what Oregon just did. Played a goose egg against Oregon State.
Bo Nix, you've heard me say it on it. I've given Bo Nix his props when he's good, but Bo Nix turned into Bo Nix again. I mean, and Oregon's defense. I mean, Oregon defensively. What in the world is going on? What is going on over there? Oregon State ran 5 straight drives and did not throw a single pass in the fourth quarter. They ran for 200 and something yards in the fourth quarter alone. Mm-hmm. That's like at some point you got to be like, all right, we're gonna make them throw. We're gonna pack we're gonna go Bill Parcells 11-man blitz and see if they can actually throw the ball.
They didn't make no adjustments again. Zero adjustments.
It's just a lack of it's a lack of coaching, and it's sorry to say, but we see it. There's a lack of head coaching going on, and I mean Ryan Day is a great coach. There's no question about that. He wins 11 games every year. But that's because coaching comes down to, can you make adjustments? Mm-hmm. We didn't see any adjustment from Ohio State. We didn't see any adjustments out of Oregon. We didn't see any when you watch these top level teams, it's the Mike Tyson quote. Everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
And that's right, man.
And it's about how you react to that. Oh wait, I just got socked. I got to change up my plan, and I got to force the other guy to make a change, because Michigan wasn't going to change. Michigan couldn't do anything. They couldn't do anything in the running game. and all of a sudden, boom.
I gotta get the game ball to Donovan Edwards, man. You see what that young fella did?
Oh,
my God.
Did you see the cast on his hand? He was like, "All right, Blake is out. If Blake was healthy, Donovan Edwards doesn't even play in that game. He probably sits on the sidelines. But he knew his other guy had a worse injury, and we don't know how bad that knee injury is, but it's got to be bad. He played 2 plays and was never able to see the field again. So I got to assume it's worse than we think it is. But he knew his other guy was out. He knew it, and he said, "All right, cast me up. Put a cast on my hand and let me play." And a cast on your hand
for 216.
You're getting hit. You're getting hit on your hand every play. People are slapping at the ball every play. That was a monster effort by Donovan.
When he said, "Shoot him up."
Exactly.
But man, I definitely gotta give him a game ball. And you know what I mean? We give slack to McCarthy, JJ McCarthy. But he had a good game. He had a good game, threw a good deep ball.
He JJ McCarthy definitely deserves a game ball for what he did. The Ohio State said, "Hey, go out and beat us," and he went out and beat them.
Simply like that, man. Let's go some other scores.
Let's go to the biggest score. The biggest score of the night. What did I tell you on the Saturday program? Watch out for College Station.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened? LSU went into Texas A&M, and A&M cleaned house with them.
And where do they go in the polls after that loss? What do you think?
They got to go out. They got 3 losses. They got to go outside the top 10.
Do you think they still have?
In my book, they got to go outside the top 10. I mean, it would be funny. The chaos scenario would be if they turn it around and beat Georgia and win the SEC championship, and the SEC champion doesn't even sniff the college football playoff. And it would be funny it would be funny because Georgia's going to get in, win or loss. It would be just funny because Georgia would lose. The loser of the SEC champion gets in, but the winner doesn't. It makes no sense.
But man, Rattler went. What happened in that Clemson game, man? What do you think happened to South Carolina with Clemson?
Spencer Rattler has had the 2 best weeks of his career, and he's had them back-to-back weeks when South Carolina needed him. And yeah, Clemson did Clemson things. They had the game in hand. They had South Carolina right where they wanted them, and to quote Dennis Green, they let them off the hook. They let them come back off the ropes, and Clemson and that's what happens when you have a guy like Spencer. I mean, this is the Spencer Rattler we thought we were going to see for 2 years. Spencer Rattler is a guy who can put on a show like that. We've seen him do it before. We just thought he was going to do it all season. He hasn't done it in 2 seasons, and the last 2 games, LSU and Clemson, he looked like the Heisman candidate we thought he was going to be.
Like what happened to Colorado? You see that shellacking Colorado guy?
I don't pay attention to Colorado.
Why are you talking? Couldn't pull the dogs off him?
It's not worth paying. It's not worth paying attention. It's not even worth paying attention to Colorado right now. They're such a disgrace, such a disaster. It's not. They're such a bad program right now.
Like,
and it's a shame because Colorado has always been a good. They were a great program. Eric Bieniemy and them, they did win a championship. Great. And then they were always like a good program. Cordell Stewart, Michael Westbrook, those kind of guys. They were always a fun team to watch. Now they're just unwatchable. They're unwatchable.
Yeah, man, it's just man. That in the TCU game.
How about that? How about that? Everybody comes in saying, "Oh, TCU," everybody, even on the reveal program, where they're like, "Well, TCU doesn't win by any margin of victory." Oh, really? They don't, because they just went out and put 62 on Iowa State, 62-10 or whatever that score was. TCU just went out there and was like, "Oh, you're going to say this? Well, look at what we can do."
Man, it was bad, man.
And everybody's still like, "Oh, surprise, Max Duggan." Max Duggan's been here all year. That should get him a trip to New York. He should be in there. He should be in there for your Heisman. He shouldn't be a surprise Heisman. He should have been on your Heisman ballot already. But if anything put him on there, that was it right there.
Man, where does Mel Tucker go from here, man? I mean, recruiting wise, I think it's a struggle for them to get anything quality right now with Michigan Michigan doing their thing. I don't know where they.
If I'm advising, if Mel Tucker calls up and asks me for his advisement of what he should be doing, hit the transfer portal. Clean up the transfer portal. That's what you need. That's where you need to hit up, because you're not going to bring top level. You're not going to bring top level recruits into East Lansing. You're just not going to do it. So what you need to do,
rebuild that line too. That offensive line you get rebuilt.
What you need to do is find transfer portal guys from Buffalo, from MAC division conferences, and say, we're going to go after these guys that have a little bit of seasoning in them, because you're not going to get a top freshman to come in and change the program.
No.
You got to do it another way. You got to do it in look what USC did. USC revamped through the transfer portal. You have to go through the transfer portal. If you can't bring in the top level guys, then you have to hit guys that have shown they can do it on a lesser level, and now bring them up to the Big Ten level. That's what I would tell them to do. I'd tell them, don't even focus on the freshmen. Focus on the transfer. Focus on getting transfers in there.
And Deets, where do you think my Volunteers get a good bowl game? What bowl game can you see them in?
Oof. At this point, I would say they're probably going to get a New Year's Day. I would say they're probably going to get a New Year's Day game. At worst, they get the Capital One Bowl. At worst, they get the Capital One Bowl, which is in which I think used to be the Citrus Bowl or whatever that is, if that's still available. But I think they still get it. I think they still get into one of the Big Four.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I liked it. I like how the sophomore was running. Jalen Wright, he ran the ball really great. You know what I mean. He did his thing. I think that's what we needed, man. If we're gonna win the rest of these games, run the ball. Just run the ball and play good defense.
Well, I mean,
you expect nothing else.
You're gonna have to run the ball because Joe Milton can't throw. Joe Milton. I hate referencing. I hate going back and referencing everything, but for everybody, we did a Saturday program where somebody brought up Jamarcus Russell. That's exactly what Joe Milton is. Joe Milton is Jamarcus Russell. He can throw the ball out. He can throw the ball out of the stadium. You just have no idea where the hell it's going. Where the hell it's going to land, you have no idea. That's the problem with Joe. Joe Milton can throw. He can't throw it accurately. He can't throw it accurately, and he can only throw it if it's over 50. If it's over 50 yards, he can throw it.
You know what that kind of reminds me of, though? People talk
if it's a 10-yard slant. If it's a 10-yard slant, it's going to be 3 yards behind the receiver that he's trying to throw to. That's just how he throws the ball. I mean, that's been his story ever since he was at Michigan. That's been his story.
But it's kind of reminds me of Jason Campbell. Remember Jason Campbell? He could throw it 80 yards.
At Auburn.
He had a cannon on him, but accuracy issues.
Exactly. And that's that, in that offense, it's about being accurate. It's not about how far you could throw it. It's about going fast, get the ball accurately to your receiver and let him run with it. And that's Jalen Hyatt's game, is give me the ball in space and let me run after the catch. Well, that's not going to happen with Joe Milton.
Man, also, yes.
I think Tennessee has enough. They have enough credit, even with the loss to South Carolina, even with the loss to Georgia. I think they have enough credit built up to where they should be. They should be one of the last teams into the New Year's 4.
Mm-hmm. But week 13, who you give some ball awards to, man? And out of this college weekend, who you give some ball awards?
Out of this college weekend, I gotta give. I mean, you take the whole weekend. I gotta give it to Florida State, man. I gotta give it to Florida State and what they've done at Florida State to bring their team back. That's it's just amazing. It amazed me how much and to put 45 on Florida. I mean, at the same time, I'm giving a game ball to Florida State. At the same time, Florida, what is going on in the Gators? What's going on with the Gators? And I figured this much, but the Gators just packed it in.
Like it was definitely looked at bad, man.
The other game ball you have to give, and the Big Ten has to look at this very closely. That kid Singleton at Penn State is going to be good. And he took a kickoff return for a touchdown. He's that running back at Penn State. He's only 19 years old. He's going to get bigger, faster, and stronger.
Can you say that again?
That kid Singleton, he's 19 years old.
You know what that kind of remind me of? Say that name.
It's
Ohio State. Who's around that age was a man among boys? Say that man's name.
Wait, who are you were thinking of Ohio State? I was gonna say he reminds me of Kajana Carter.
No, I'm just saying this the poise of him. He remind me of that guy from Ohio State that won that national championship. You know what I'm talking about. Oh. Say that man's name.
The man child Zeke.
No, so it was about what's his name? What was his name? In 04. What's that guy's name? Marcus.
Oh, Maurice Clarett.
Yeah, Maurice Clarett. You kind of remind me of him. This is poise at this young age. I'm not saying he got the wheels like this.
He's not in Maurice Clarett's stratosphere yet. He's faster than Maurice Clarett was never fast. Never fast. No. He was never fast. Maurice Clarett was never going to win a track meet, but he would run you over. If you ran into him, you knew you better be ready to bring it. And the only guy I ever saw take on Maurice Clarett with authority was Sean Taylor. Everybody else got run over.
Since you said that, how do you feel about that terrible statue? Oh my God. Did you see that?
No, they made a statue?
No. This display. Let me look. Can I find it?
where did they put this?
At the Commander Stadium.
If they made a statue for Sean Taylor in a Commander's uniform, it better be him destroying Sean Morwood in the Pro Bowl. That's the go-to.
Let me see. Can I pull this up? Let me see. Can I get it? You see it, Beats? Look at this.
Yeah. All right.
This cheesy ass statue displayed for Sean Taylor. How you do something shitty like that? You could have made him a statue, man.
That's not. I don't know why they're cheering for that. You can actually hear it. You can hear like when they reveal it, you can hear the crowd is like cheering, and then all of a sudden they see it and they're like, oh. It's the crowd just goes the crowd noise just goes down, down and down and down, and they're like, yeah, this is not good. That's not a good display, but
nah, man. They could have did
but back to that kid. That kid Singleton is going to be a star at Penn State.
He runs hard, man. But I also gotta give props to that UCLA Charbonnet. He ran hard too over the weekend. He ran hard.
He did, but
had a buck 19
in a useless UCLA, a useless game for UCLA. But hey, they won. Good for them. You got to give a game ball. You got to give a game ball to Kansas State as well. Kansas State, they get another shot. They'll get another shot at TCU.
Another shot, but it's going to end the same way.
And right now, if you're Kansas State, all you're sitting there saying is just don't let our quarterbacks get hurt. Just don't let our quarterbacks get hurt again, because they had TCU on the ropes until they had to go to their third string quarterback.
Yeah, once you get to that, it's pretty much over with.
So Kansas State's got a chance. That's the game to watch this weekend, is that Big 12 championship game.
I'm just ready for the recruiting, man. You know what I mean? That's what I'm waiting for, the recruiting for the offseason, see what people get, you know what I mean, out the transfer portal, what kind of 5 stars go where. That's what I'm looking forward to, Deeds.
Yeah, well, I mean that everybody but the playoff teams, that's pretty much all. if your team's not in the playoffs, that's pretty much all everybody's looking forward to.
And you know what I mean, after that New Year game, it's done dealing for us. You know what I mean? But where do you think Maryland goes from here, man? Do you think what do you kind of move you? I think you had to start with that line, offensive line. So you got to get any transfer you can get for that offensive line, because that offensive line is terrible.
It always starts with the off. You look at any of these good teams, it starts with the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can bring in. You don't need you don't need to go out and get the 5-star wide receiver. You don't need to go out and get the 5-star quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get the 5-star offensive tackle. You need to get the 5-star guard. You need to get the big bodies up front. That's where these teams. That's where all these good teams are built. You look at all the good teams, or they're built on the offensive line. Like the wide receivers in that, they're gonna get all the flashiness. They're gonna get the headlines. But that's not where the teams are built. Teams are built on offensive line and defense.
That's where all the starts at, man.
So any of these guys that are out there like let Alabama go out and get, the 5-star wide receivers. You need to go out and get the 5-star offensive tackle. If you're a small school, you need to get the big time. You need to build up your offensive line. That's where football starts and ends. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of offense you run. You need offensive linemen. It doesn't matter if you're Mike Leach and you run the air raid offense. Well, in order to run that, you need to be able to block so your wide receivers can get down the field, so that your quarterback can throw the ball without being on his ass. It's that simple.
It's just that simple. But man,
are we sticking in college, or are we switching to the NFL yet?
We're gonna switch to NFL when
Drew comes on.
Yeah, when Drew comes on.
Well, I know you work with some Jets fans. You got to do some research for me with your Jets fan friends.
Go ahead.
What the hell were those uniforms they were wearing? I have to ask this question. Why do teams that don't wear black think they can wear black? Like, if you're the Raiders, you can wear black because your team color's black. If you're the Ravens, you can wear black. If you're Carolina, you can wear black. Those are your colors. But if you're the Jets, you're green. You're gang green. That's your color. Wear your color. If you want to make the numbers black, that's fine. But make the they should not be wearing, and they should not be wearing black helmets. They should not be wearing black helmets. You're the Jets. Own your color. Like when I saw them, I was like, this is absolutely gross. It was disgusting.
Like, I don't know what they was thinking, but you know what I mean? Some people, when people are not used to winning beats, they do crazy stuff. You know what I mean?
Everybody does. Everybody does it, and everybody does it, and they go, well, what we need an alternate jersey. Well, let's go with a black jersey. Why? It has nothing to do with your color. It's nothing to do with your team color. Like, if you wanted to go with like a neon green or like a different colored green, all right, try that. There's no reason to go to black. There's no reason to go with a black uniform. You're the Jets. It was just stupid.
I like our throwback jerseys. To be honest with you, the red jersey, the white helmets.
Absolutely, with Patriot Pat on the helmet.
Yeah, I like those, or I like the silver with the white. You know what I mean? We have so many jerseys.
I still like for you guys. I still like the 95. I still like the 95 jerseys the best. I think those are the best jerseys that you guys had, and they, it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same, except it's more of a royal blue.
Yeah.
As opposed to the navy that you guys have now. I like those. I like those royal blue jerseys. I think those are the best you guys had.
Like, it's so many of them, but I like the throwback. I like when they bring the throwback out, though. I like the maroon, not that real bright red. It's not a maroon, but a real bright red with the white helmets. I love it. I love it.
And never gonna get an argument from me out of that. I love Patriot. I love the Patriot Pat uniforms. The helmet is definitely better. The helmet's definitely better. I mean, if you could merge the two concepts, like that's what I would. If I were in the Patriots office, that's what I'd be, because to put Patriot Pat back on the helmet, you got just his head, but when you had him there snapping the ball, like that was perfect. If you could do that with the silver helmets, well, I don't understand why they wouldn't do that. Why they wouldn't do that? But
I even love it when they shoot the muskets.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it.
It's everything, but these teams they just want to change. They just want to change. Like we have an alternate uniform. Like, if your alternate uniform has nothing to do with your team, well, why even do it? Like at least have it be something with your team. Like the Patriots. You brought up the Patriots' alternate uniform is red. Well, that's part of the Patriots' uniform, red. Mm-hmm. The Giants' alternate uniform is red. That's part of their uniform. Like, black is not part of the Jets' uniform. It has nothing to do with their uniform. So why do it?
Maybe they want to be a stealth plane or something.
And then you brought up the command. You brought up the command. I mean, the commanders. You can't be doing all black uniforms. You can only do all black uniforms if you have something on the helmet. They look like they look like the U.S. that we talked about recruiting. They look like the U.S. Army high school game that they play every year. That's what the uniforms look like. You look like a high school all-star game.
I like the mustard and the red trim.
Yeah. You're in your first year. You don't need to be changing up uniform. Like wear your colors with pride, man.
It kind of looked like it kind of reminded me of, you ever seen the movie Any Given Sunday? Them cheesy fucking jerseys they had on there. That's what it kind of reminded me of.
And I don't understand. I don't understand the mentality. I don't know where it comes from. And I don't know who went into the office and was like, "Hey, this is a good idea." And you think about it. You have to think about it. This went through so many people looked at this and was like, from concept when they went, hey, we want to do a black jersey. Somebody was like, all right, that's a good idea. So somebody said it was a good idea there. Then somebody designed this, came to the Jets and was like, this is our design. And they were like, ooh, we like this. Produce it. Then they produced the jersey. They showed it to everybody, and they were like, yes, we want our guys to wear that. Mm-hmm. Like, at any of those stages, somebody could have said, nope, this looks awful. Let's go back to the drawing board.
I don't think nobody
did. And nobody did, and they let them go out on the field like that.
It was just like a terrible jersey, man. Congrats with them again the win. But yes, the real test is this week against Justin Jefferson. I want to see Justin Jefferson versus Sauce.
Yeah.
I want to see it. This is how you know you know what I mean. This is your real test.
Yeah. So Sauce Gardner, you want to earn your Rookie of the Year. You're going to earn it this week.
If he shut him down, I'm handing it to him. I'm handing the receipts. You had the best rookie season of the year. You know what I mean? Of the year prior.
He'll put his stamp on rookie, not defensive rookie. He'll put his stamp on Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year.
If he shuts down Justin Jefferson. But
he can shut him down to 3 yards.
How are you going to shut down Justin? How are you going to shut down Justin Jefferson? I mean, guys hold one hand behind his back, and he still makes catches. So yeah, this will be the test. This will be the test for the Jets. And I love the fact that everybody's going nuts over the Jets beating the Bears. Beating the Bears without Justin Fields. I mean, you beat a high school team pretty much. That's how bad the Bears are.
That's saying a lot. But the Jet fans are gonna be the Jet fans, man. They're
every win in the NFL is where it's good to celebrate. Like, hey, you got to win, like, awesome. But now the schedule gets hard. Like the schedule down the stretch for the Jets. I think they got the Vikings, Bills, Patriots. And
we already swept them.
And Dolphins still to come. You got 5 really tough games down the stretch.
We already beat them twice, so we're.
You already beat them twice, so but they do. They still have the Bills, Dolphins, Vikings. I don't know who else is on the schedule, but I know they have to go play all 3 of those teams. And the Jets have gotten wins against 2 of them. But we know revenge is a dish best served cold, and it's going to get cold. And everybody, I love everybody this morning. Oh, Zach Wilson is done. Mike White looks so good. Everybody loves the backup quarterback until they have to win a game.
All right, Dees. This their schedule after this. They got the Vikings. They got the Bills, Detroit, Jacksonville. They have the Seahawks and the Dolphins.
All right, so they've got three
games.
tough ones, and three tough ones. One, and Jacksonville could be a problem, and then you have the Detroit Lions, who are the Detroit Lions.
I'm not sleeping on them though. I can't.
Hey, you can't. I mean, look, the Giants slept on the Lions, and look what happened.
How many games do you think they can win out of the 6 left?
Out of the 6 left, I think they can go 3. I think they can go 3. I think if they go 3-3, they'll be happy. They should be happy. They should be happy at 3-3. If you go 4-2, you're making the playoffs. And
No doubt.
if you go 5-1, you could win the division. But I think they go 3-3 down the stretch.
That's going to be a hard 3-3. I'm already giving the Vikings as a loss. Bills, I don't know what Josh Allen I'm going to get.
The Bills is in. It's going to be in Buffalo too.
I got them
In
winning.
Buffalo, it's going to be a different story. Different story playing Buffalo in northern New York than it is playing them in New Jersey.
Yeah,
So it's going to be a totally different game.
it could be a 2-4 if they're not, you know what I mean? People would.
It could easily be 2-4. And what they say? You said the Seahawks are in there. I mean, the Seahawks. We don't know what this. We don't know. You don't know what Seahawks team is going to show up. Is it going to be the team that showed up in the first half yesterday, or is it going to be the team that showed up in overtime that allowed Josh Jacobs to just one play run 80 yards for a touchdown? I mean, the Seahawks. We don't know what the Seahawks are so up and down, but at that point, the desperation could be on the Seahawks. The Seahawks could be winner in. It could be where the Seahawks need to win the game and to keep their season alive. So that could be desperation at that point. And
we got our guest. Drew's here.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Thanks for having me on today. I've been
what's up, Drew?
Coming on to our little my small platform. I appreciate you.
Hey, man, any platform, no matter what size it is, it's a platform. So as long as you guys are on here and most importantly having fun, talking sports, it's the most important thing. Like I see Dietz over there, been seeing him on Snowman in the morning too. He seems like a dude I could drink a bottle of bourbon and smoke a pack of cigarettes with, on a Saturday night. That's my type of dude right there. And then Rod, your shows, man, you're definitely entertaining. Watching you with your picks. You definitely deserve a championship belt like I got above my head as the biggest troll on Snowman in the morning. But I enjoy the entertainment myself.
Thank you.
So,
I think that with grace and pettiness.
And we see it, man. So I appreciate it. That's why I try to give you shout outs, whenever I make my appearances on there. And I'll be with Snowman here in a little bit, talking some college football action and a little bit of some Washington, formerly known as Redskins, and their monument.
So how do you feel about that terrible statue?
Oh, it's a joke. I mean, he's got soccer cleats on, man. And from what they were saying, when you all this time they made it sound like he was going to get a statue, that there was going to be something legitimate, like bronzed or something like put together. What we saw yesterday, I feel like at least the representation of his old game jersey and having that lineage there, like me as a lifelong fan of the team, it was cool seeing that part of it, but he deserves way more than that. If this is temporary, I'm cool with it. But if they don't come out with some type of like statued monument for him at some point in the near future, a lot of people are going to be even angrier than what they've been angry about for quite some time.
And you mentioned bronze. If they came to me and said, "All right, what are you gonna put there for Sean Taylor?" I'm putting the hit from the Pro Bowl.
Yes, yes,
That's
absolutely.
my bronze statement. That's Sean Taylor. That's Sean Taylor to a T.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that will be the most legendary play in Pro Bowl history because it's been known as two-hand touch for so much time, but that was definitely a real hit in that game.
Yeah, my dad's a lifelong Redskin fan, Commander fan. You know what I mean? So I grew up on it. You know what I mean? I used to watch a game with him. You know what I mean? That's where we separate because I'm never gonna put that mustard on me in that red jersey. But he is.
You don't want a little bit of this action there, Rod. You don't want to have the ink on you or whatnot of it.
Oh man.
Come on, man. I live and die by the team. I mean, it's not the same anymore. We gotta take command now, but I live and die by that team, man.
You know what I mean? My dad, you know what I mean, from the Art Monk days and all the way up, my dad's been a fan. So to see how the team is now, I love the defense. Their defense really physical. And I like the win how y'all won it yesterday, but I feel like it shouldn't have been that close. But that's another story.
Yeah, Mariota getting picked off in the end zone right there. It was too close. I mean, but that just goes to show that this team is still one of the most cardiac teams in all of sports history because it's all up and down all game long. There are probably at least top 5 of all sports teams with fans that have heart attacks.
Mm-hmm. And the sad thing about it is, I remember when Trent Williams was there, all them injury plagues he had there. And now to look at him now.
It was a couple weeks ago, one of those downfield blocks that he had for that run or whatnot. I can't remember who was actually running the ball, but Trent Williams made a huge play that he would not have been able to make when his time in Washington. It looks like his conditioning's got a little bit better there in San Fran.
And that could have opened y'all up if he was really conditioned with the running backs y'all used to have back in the day. You remember all the running backs you used to have back in the day. You know what I mean? Then putting Cooley in the backfield as a fullback and you know what I mean? That's why when I see Josh Uchek, I said, man, that's just Chris Cooley.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you on that. They probably have a long list of like running backs like the Browns have quarterbacks. But the one thing I will say that I did like about Cooley, I did actually like him as a fullback because he was a pretty physical blocking tight end. So having him as a fullback and blocking for Portis, that was probably, and Liddell Betts was probably their most effective fullback, probably of the 2000s of probably this millennium. But they really haven't used the whole fullback much because a lot of teams have gotten away with it as they've been kind of evolving the offense over the past 15 years.
We used to be a lifetime with
bring up Clint Portis. No doubt in my mind that was the best trade from both. I'm talking both teams. Both teams benefited from that trade. Now Champ Bailey went on to be Champ Bailey, and Clint Portis was the Washington Redskins for the rest of his career.
But I used to hate seeing how D'Angelo Hall used to get burned though. Oh my God, he'd get burned like a Newport short.
And the thing about D'Angelo was he would get burnt, and then he would come out the next day and say, all right, well, who's coming next? And I'm like, why are you talking? You just got torched, and now you're calling out the next wide receiver. Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Josh Norman.
He wasn't as bad as Josh Norman.
Oh my!
Josh Norman put the icing on the cake for terrible as far as cornerbacks. D'Angelo Hall, if we would have had him when he was in Atlanta, like what he was in Atlanta, it'd been a totally different story. But just like a lot of players that come into Washington, they get them on the tail end of their career. We get some good flashes in the pan, like we did from Adrian Peterson for a little bit and some other players. But overall, when you get an older player in Washington, they're usually washed up. And washed up Wentz is on the way out the door with the way Taylor Heineke has been re-energizing this offense.
That's wrong with Heineke. He's a cheap deal. You know what I mean? And I think he would, for a long haul to groom somebody, take a cheap deal. He loves to be at Washington.
Yeah, and I mean, he's not throwing for 300 yards. But he kind of reminds me of like the modern era Brett Favre, just the way he's moving around the pocket and extending plays. The biggest factor in that is the way he extends plays. It's really fun to watch. If you're looking for the deep ball and throwing for 300 and 400 yards, no. Go watch a Thomas Edward Patrick Brady the second game, and he'll do that, and they'll still lose.
I think he's a great great value of Steve Young. I feel like a great value. You know what I mean? You don't get the prime premium French toast sticks. He's like this, you know what I mean, French toast with a little bit of cinnamon, but it ain't too much cinnamon or sugar on it. You know, it's like putting the white bread in the oven with the cinnamon on it and the sugar.
I don't know if there's the Sheetz gas station in y'all's area where y'all
Oh,
live.
I love Sheetz.
But it's kind of like those French toast sticks.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
You either put the cinnamon on them or you don't, and he's the one with the don't.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I like the secondary. You got the what's the guy named Justice something? He's pretty solid, and you still got you still got Fuller back there, but I just feel like it's lacking in the free safety spot.
Say again. Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit.
I said I like your secondary with your corners with Justice and Fuller. I just think y'all missing a free safety though.
Yeah, I mean, hey, but Fuller made that play at the end of the game yesterday to solidify the game, picking off Mariota in the end zone. So you're right. Like with Chase Young coming back, that's definitely going to be a big boost to this defense, especially in their core and the linebacker core, working his way on from the end because he kind of moves around in different spots. They don't usually play him in the same spot all game. He's kind of like a hybrid position, and he's a big, a big mentor to the younger guys. I mean, he's young himself, but this is a very young defense, and that is the reason why they're 7-5.
Is Chase Young ever gonna come? Is he ever gonna come back? Because they've been teasing that for like 3 weeks now.
Yeah, I mean,
every week it's Chase Young will be back. Chase Young will be back on Sunday, and then I turn it on Sunday, and I'm like, all right, I see him in street clothes. What I thought he was back.
Yeah, I mean, but the type of injury that he has, it's one of those things. I mean, we've seen players come back and rush through injury before, and they're never the same. I mean, he's so important to that defense that I'd much rather him take as much time as he needs if he comes back with the way he was before he got hurt. That's the important thing. Take as much time as you need as long as you come back 100% healthy. But if you rush into it and you get hurt again, I don't really have much remorse for you because you should have taken that time to heal up.
Do you think y'all going to give him some Albert Haynesworth type of money? Because y'all known to give the big bag. You know what I mean? Y'all known to give the big bags up.
No, I think the only team that really is going to do that was Denver Broncos, what they did with Russell Wilson, because that $250 million is really biting them in the rear end right now. I mean, I tell you what, watching them play is worse than watching any other team in the NFL. I'd much rather watch the Raiders and the Broncos. They're in the same division. I feel sorry for the AFC West.
I'd rather watch Larissa Piven kiss Marcus Jordan in the mouth than
The funny thing about you bring up Russell Wilson. The funny thing about Russell Wilson and y'all have been looking at this forever. Do you remember the summer when that trade happened and everybody said this is the greatest trade ever? This is going to make the Broncos so good. I remember the minute I saw this trade and I read all the headlines. I sent Snowman a message. I said, "What the hell are these people talking about? This trade is nothing." And look what's happened in Denver. Nothing. Their offense.
I'll admit, I was not as high on that train as some people were saying, like Super Bowl or bust type of year for them because they thought they were a quarterback away. I thought they'd at least be, at the top of their division and have a playoff berth, probably get bounced in the first round. I didn't expect them to. I didn't have like any very high hopes for them, but when you look at Russell Wilson's career on paper, you would expect that. Those who have really studied the Seattle Seahawks, and I've really discussed this more with Seattle Seahawks insiders over the course of the past 90 days and getting more of an understanding about it. And what we've seen since preseason to now has been the epic decline of a former Super Bowl MVP. Like, it's sad. Ever since he threw that interception in that Super Bowl when he went there and they should have ran it with Marshawn. They should have given the man a bag of Skittles and let him run it up the gut, and they would have had back-to-back Super Bowls.
I appreciate that. I appreciated them not running it. I appreciated them not running it because it gave us another one of them rings. So I appreciate it.
I know, but hey, history would be different had he just given the man a timeout, a bag of Skittles, and let him run it out the gut.
No, he said he does a shot of Henny before the game, so I don't think
but he's advertised. He's always done Skittles. Now probably THC, but he did a lot of Skittles back when he was playing. Shot of Henny before the game was true.
Nothing wrong with shot of Henny, but But how do you feel like, man? How do you feel about that take about the 49ers winning out? I don't see it. Do you
Snowman?
see it? Yeah.
I love Snowman. Like, collaborating with him on Mondays has definitely been great. But, and I will take this clip out of your show and share it with him. Snowman, I love you, but you are a homer for the San Francisco 49ers. Tom Brady is, well, hang on, let me retract. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II is the best quarterback in the NFL history, period. It is not Joe Montana, as they say on the water.
It
is Tom Brady.
I
don't even like Tom Brady.
You know what I mean? He's the GOAT. I'll leave it right there. But what were some big games you saw in the NFL this week that you were like shocked by, or you felt like, dang, they should have made some adjustments and they flunked out?
Well, it was definitely surprising to see the Browns beat the Buccaneers yesterday in overtime.
Ooh, that was definitely shocking.
That was one of my most surprised ones. Like, I expect them to actually, I expect them to be competitive because it's Jacoby Brissett. He was a backup to Tom Brady before, so it's kind of like Jimmy G. He learned some things. He hasn't quite had the stout career that Jacoby Brissett had. I mean, that Jimmy Garoppolo's had by leading his team to a Super Bowl loss or whatever. But I didn't expect an overtime win for the Browns until they get Deshaun Watson and actually see what the real offense is going to look like. The Vikings beating the Patriots on Thursday was definitely a good one. I didn't expect it to be as close as it was, or the Lions to be a field goal, away from tying the game.
And I wasn't expecting that offense explosion like that, but them fucking, I'm sorry, Drew, them freaking wide receiver screens pissed me off.
Yeah, and I mean the Jags yesterday getting that 1 point win over the Ravens was huge too, man. You got the Chargers beating the
Greg Roman. Greg
Roman. Oh yeah,
terrible. Go ahead.
Oh, and we talk about other teams, too. With that, we got the Cardinals barely losing to the Chargers. I expected the Chargers to win it. I didn't expect it to be as close because you got Kyler Murray and the injury and stuff, and the way that's affected this offense. Colt McCoy's been pretty solid backup, but it's not the same offense of what it was before. But the 49ers beating the Saints by 13 points. I'm not getting as hype as Snowman is. They're going to the NFC Championship game. I don't think they're going further than that.
All right, you guys are NFL. You brought up the 49ers Saints game. You guys are NFL guys. How is Chris Olave not a catch? How is that not a catch? That's what I want to know. I don't know what a catch is anymore. He caught the ball, took 2 steps, got hit the ground, and then the ball came out. And they said no catch. I'm sitting there with a bunch of 49ers and Saints fans at the bar, and we're all sitting there going, wait, why is it 3rd down? That it should be 1st and goal at the 10-yard line.
I don't know what's the catch after that Hunter Henry extending the ball over the line, over the end zone, and they said it's not a touchdown. I don't know what
a catch is and what it isn't anymore. I have no idea. It's almost like they coin flip it, and they're like, all right, well, it came up tails, so it's not a catch.
You guys bring up very great points with that, and when you compare those two situations, and you look at Tom Brady's first touchdown yesterday when Chris Godwin barely got to the 1 yard line, and they called it a touchdown. Like they thought that he had extended it over. Ivy looked at that. I was like, that's not a touchdown.
Oh man, look who
Snowman!
Look who was showed up.
He's coming to bring the fire for the San Francisco 49ers.
I'm telling you.
I'm still trying to figure that out. First of all, how was Olave not? How was it not a catch?
That was a clean catch. That was a clean catch. He caught the ball. 2 feet were down. Took 2 steps. He got popped on the ground. That's when the ball came loose. That should be 1st and goal. This is coming from a 49er fan. That was a clean catch. Period. That was a catch. Now to you, Mr. Rod.
Oh, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
I'm gonna verbally sock you in the tooth. How you doing, Rod? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Just
good.
Coming back off the long week, extended weekend from Thanksgiving, and
this weekend I've gotten the most sleep I've gotten in months.
So that turkey.
let's see, the turkey, the dressing, the sweet potatoes, the corn, more dressing. 1, 2, 3, 4 slices of apple pie, courtesy of my family.
I'm not an apple pie guy. I'm not a.
You suck. No,
I like sweet potato pie. I like a little.
you
I
know
like
what?
a little,
Let me ask
little
y'all all
punky
three of you a
pie.
question.
My wife came in. She brought some leftovers from my in-laws' house. Okay. There was this big thing that she brought in, and she said, "Honey, you need to look at this last." I said, "Why am I looking at that last?" That was the pie.
What you about to say, Drew?
I was gonna say I wanted to ask all three of y'all a question. Thanksgiving question: turkey, cranberry sauce on the turkey or no? I go
Who
with
freaking cares? It winds up in my stomach.
No, you have to put cranberry sauce on the turkey, Snowman. It is an American delicacy.
D. Will, listen to me again. Who cares? It winds up in my stomach anyway.
I like my turkey pie.
I'm in the same boat. I'm in the same boat as Snowman. My Thanksgiving plate, everything ends up on top of everything.
Yes.
There's no
My Thanksgiving plate.
I'm not one of those. I'm not one of these like plate. You know, you get like those like divided plates where it's like
no, not all that. Yeah.
There's turkey here, there's stuffing here,
Right,
this here.
Right.
That's how I always start it, and then it just ends up everything's on top of each other. I just fold it all into each other and everything at once.
It starts with a clean look. Okay, it starts with a clean look.
Never starts with a clean look. It's a
Turkey
mound
on
of
one
food.
Wait a minute. Turkey here, stuffing here, macaroni here, and I went through 2.5 rounds of macaroni.
They gotta
Cranberry
be baked,
sauce,
though. They gotta be baked, bro.
everything.
You
Okay, look,
gotta be baked macaroni and cheese. Can't be that
everything
over
was on my plate. Everything was on my plate, and it looked good when I put it there. When I sat down and had football in front of me and my wife next to me, everything wound up on top of everything else as I was busy devouring my food.
You still gotta put the cranberry sauce on top. If you're gonna have a mound of food, just put it on top, like the cherry on top. Eat it. It's great.
I put the cranberry sauce on top of every. Cranberry sauce is always the last thing that goes on.
Cranberry
on top of
sauce. Listen, cranberry sauce winds up on top of everything on my plate. All right, because it gets.
That's all
eaten.
you had to say.
That's what I
It's
was
just like
saying.
a 49er fan.
Whoa.
It's just like a 49er fan.
That's
You're
what
making long-winded.
that's what I was saying. The cranberry sauce winds up on top of everything else, man. And it winds up getting devoured. Listen, there is no delicacy with me when it comes to Thanksgiving food. Everything's piled up on top of everything else, and it gets eaten. Period.
Yeah, those 10 divisional plates or whatever it is, where people have like, it looks like I don't like it. I'm not even going to throw anybody under the bus, but I saw it during Thanksgiving, and it was a big turnoff.
You know what? I just grabbed a plate and piled food on it. All right, which is what I'm going to do after Drew and I have our show in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to grab a big plate. I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to pass out and take a nap. Because I'm.
And by the way, speaking of shows, Snowman,
Yes.
thank you for the shout out in the opening of your show. As rightfully pointed out, Matt Rule is now the coach at Nebraska.
You deserve that because you were saying that before.
Which you called the day he got fired, and I agreed with you. The day he got fired, Chris and I both said he'd wind up at Nebraska, and people thought we were nuts.
I said I think I came on. I think I either came on that day or I texted Stillman. Well, at least Nebraska's next head coach is now fired.
You did both. Because the day Rule got fired, you not only texted me, I brought you on like within 5 minutes of that text you sent me.
But I can't believe how many people were saying, "Oh no, Nebraska's going to get somebody," and I was like, "No, they already got Matt Rule. It's already done."
And it was done that. I'm inclined to think it was done that day, the day he got fired.
But I got the three of you guys on here, so I want to ask you guys a question. You guys watch football all this weekend and from Thursday on. What is going through these coaches' mind? When did punting become allergic? Like, when did coaches become allergic to punting on fourth down?
Everybody's
How many
playing
times do we see you guys going
Yeah.
for it on fourth down that you're like,
In
just
their own
punt the
territory.
ball?
In their own territory.
The Chargers
crazy.
coach does it all the time, and what happens to the Chargers?
Well,
They
Brendan
lose. They lose a lot more than they win.
Well,
All
Brendan
these coaches
Staley's
are
a-
making decisions I don't understand.
Well, Brendan Staley's a dumb fool anyway.
Oh, he's gone. He need to be gone. You need to be
Brendan
gone.
Staley needs to go. And Rod, this is for you. Beginning today, this show is now being broadcasted live on the SDM Sports Radio Network.
Oh, thank you,
Let me
Snowman.
give
You know,
Rod-
even though I get
Rod
attacked on the group. On the chat.
Rod,
Hey, Snowman, I
love you-
told him he
Rod,
deserves
I
a
love you
championship like
dearly.
above my head for the biggest troll of all time on your show.
Listen, Rod, I love you dearly, and I know you pick at me every time you come in the chat. Why do you think we have all those sound bites ready for you? Why do you think we have all those sound bites and those clips ready for you? But we love you dearly. We show you nothing but love, even though you pick at us all the time.
Oh,
Listen,
man.
it goes like this. It's a brotherhood and a sisterhood. You pick at us, we pick back at you.
Yeah.
But
A 30 piece
What?
by the Texans.
wait, what did you say?
I said, I feel sorry for Cole after I was watching that game yesterday. I said, man. And then there's the funniest thing about it is, I don't know y'all know, Deshaun Watson gonna play the Texans this Sunday, and I'm gonna be sitting right in my red chair. I'm gonna drink some of my Crown. I'm gonna have a couple of Modelo's, and I'm just gonna love it. I'm gonna love it.
I'm gonna sleep.
Wait, is
I'm
that
gonna
is
watch
that
the
Deshaun?
Is that a one?
Is that Deshaun's comeback? Deshaun's
the
comeback
comeback
game
game.
is against
That's
the
his-
Texans.
Yes.
You couldn't write that script. You couldn't write
Oh,
that script.
You
Yeah.
couldn't write that script if you wanted to. You couldn't write that script if you wanted to. Okay? I'm gonna be asleep.
I hope he give like Groupons out for massages. That'd be epic.
I don't remember asking you a blank thing. I couldn't help it.
But yeah, I'm interested in that game, man. But
I'm not. I don't
I'm
really
excited
care.
about your game coming up, though, Snowman. The
Yeah,
Dolphins.
we gotta face a good quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins.
And don't let Morris go to the outside. It's over with. If
That
Morris go to the
49ers
outside, no
It's
corner
gonna get
catching him.
tested. We're gonna get tested. I will say that aloud, and I said it this morning. We are going to get tested, and we're gonna get tested a lot with Tua.
But
Now,
man,
I got a
don't know
question for Rod. I got a
What?
question for Rod, and I'm probably gonna ask this when we tape our episode today.
okay.
But I want to get a hint. Why are you such a LeBron James lover? I've been wanting to ask this for a year. And I never bothered to ask because the way Rod trolls us in the chat, and y'all hung out with us in the chat, the way Rod trolls us in the chat, we just respond to it and go with it.
He just always been my favorite player from high school. I love Allen Iverson. I don't really have an NBA team like people have an NBA team.
Gotcha. Okay.
I
So
just
it's
love
not-
players and their
So
style.
it's not a team. It's not a team thing for. It's more of a player thing.
It's more like a player thing because the
Gotcha.
teams, like LeBron, always been my favorite player. I don't know, it's just how he played the game. It's like watching. For me, it's like watching Magic Johnson play. For me,
I
you
got
know what I mean? A
got
6'9" guy, or I used to love Penny Hardaway.
You realize we're gonna mercilessly pick at you.
I'm just saying, like, it's just this
I
game.
don't understand. I don't understand that
Early odds
answer.
for next Sunday.
What?
Early odds for next Sunday. The Niners have been established as a 3.5 point favorite at home. I'm
Yeah,
just reading
3.5 point
this-
favorite. So they got the mandatory 2.5 for being at home. So it's really a 1.5. So they
It's
really
really
think it's
a
going to be a
point.
1.5 point
It's-
game.
It's really a point or a pick 'em, with that
Yeah.
game next Sunday.
What's the over?
Good question. Let's find out.
Because I don't think y'all shutting them out.
They have not established that yet. At least
Yeah, 'cause I don't see y'all shutting them out.
I'm looking at it.
13-0.
I would think. If
I
that
would think
game's
the
anywhere over 36
Oh,
and a half,
here's your-
take the under.
Here's your answer: 46 and a half.
Yeah, take the under.
I'm
Under.
You're gonna take the under?
Taking the
Under. That game's going to be way under.
I'm taking. Not only am I taking the under, I'm taking the points.
Mm.
I mean, if you're the 49ers fans should be taking the under. If that game's over 46 and a half, the 49ers are losing.
Yeah,
That means it's a shootout.
yeah. That means it's a shootout. Look, I laid the points against New Orleans, and I got lucky because it was a shutout. Because there were 3 times New Orleans should have scored, and they didn't. In fact, if I remember correctly, 2 of those 3 times they coughed up the ball. And there was one, Alvin Kamara coughed it up on the goal line.
Yeah, and then one time, as we discussed, the refs took it away. The refs took it away from the Saints.
Right.
Oh, no reason.
Y'all will be proud of me. Y'all will be proud of me. You ready? This is day 8 without coffee.
There's one thing I'm not proud of you about, though, and that is how much of a homer you are for the San Francisco 49ers. You lost to Russell Wilson in the Denver Broncos. You got massacred by the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, and
you guys are not going to win a Super Bowl this year. And I got to piggyback on Rod on this one. You got to calm down, Snowman. They are not going to the Super Bowl this year. They're going to the NFC Championship. They're going to get taken out. But they are not the second coming of Joe Montana and the Waterboy-led San Francisco 49ers.
Hey, Drew, and Jimmy G's.
Let me talk to Drew for a minute because I'm going to pick on him in about a half hour anyway. I'm going to pick on Drew in a half hour anyway. First and foremost, who's your team?
They don't even have a real name.
Oh, the Redskins.
But they're still in contention. Go ahead.
Formerly known as REDSKINS.
Wait a minute. I like the Redskins. Okay? I like what they're doing. And I love the fact that they're 7-5 right now. But if y'all come anywhere near Levi's Stadium, you're leaving with an L. In fact, it would take a playoff matchup for that to happen. No, take it back. 3 weeks we'll see you. 2 weeks we'll see you. 2 weeks we will see you in Santa Clara, and we're whipping your ass.
But you got Mr. Glass, though. You got Mr. Glass, though, Christian McCaffrey. I don't think you want to get hit by one of them. You don't want to get hit by Chase Young.
We'll have Chase Young back, and y'all going to come in like you did the altitude in Denver.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we had bigger altitude in Mexico City, and we hammered the Cardinals.
FedEx Field's going to leak some poop water on you. You're going to lose.
Y'all are coming to us.
Oh, we're going to you. We're going to bring the poop water.
Y'all are coming. Are you going to bring the poop water with you?
Yeah.
Coming out to Levi's Stadium.
Put it in Ziploc bags like crazy people put on their Porsche to keep the flies away.
But you realize how big the Ziploc bags have to be.
It could be gallon sized. Like
you realize.
Size.
Listen, my wife and I have been watching like homestead videos lately where they have these extended bags where they put dirt in it, where they build the house that way. That's how big the bags are gonna have to be when y'all come out to Levi's in Santa Clara.
It'll be the second coming of the body bag game, the body bag poopy game. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. All right, let me get ready for this man here. Want to start spreading the word, but I had to come in. I got to show Rod some love. I got to show Deet some love, and I got to show D Willie some love because I'm gonna have.
I'll probably email you some of the stuff too.
And I get Rod. Did we set a time?
4:00. You said
4:00. Okay, that gives me plenty of time to eat, pass out, and get ready for Rod at 4:00. D Will, I will see you in a half hour, my man.
My man.
Out.
Snowman, definitely. Thanks for the unexpected, surprise with the appearance on the show. It's kind of like getting that surprise gift at Christmas. That was awesome.
Yeah. Well, so what were we talking about before you showed up? I forgot.
The catch. We were talking about. Dietz was talking about the catch. And then we were kind of going back and forth. I would have just brought up about how that Chris Godwin first touchdown yesterday was BS compared to you guys bringing up the catches, and then how they weren't catches. Snowman comes in, homer for 49ers. We love you, Snowman, but Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II is the best. I'll leave it at that.
because Joe Montana
and not to break anything, but it was 10-0. It was only 10-0 when Olave makes that catch. They at least get a field goal out of that. All of a sudden, it's a 1-score game. It's totally different. It's a totally different game the rest of the game.
I think the biggest thing that I was shocked in was, the way the Green Bay Packers came in and played last night against the Eagles. And, Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. I feel like had he not gotten hurt, they would have won that game because Jordan Love came in, played pretty decent, but Aaron Rodgers had them in that game all game long. They weren't down by more than 10 points. And in the 10-point game, anybody can come back, snap the fingers, and get the lead on. So I was really surprised to see that.
If you want to call that defense playing, sure. But when you allow the quarterback to run for 100 yards in a quarter, I'm sorry.
I'm talking about the offense.
You have to say quarterback's not going to run anymore. And Green Bay, what is Green Bay doing on defense?
He ran for 156 yards, which that was definitely his career high in rushing for Jalen Hurts. But it was the offense and Aaron Rodgers' offense is what kept them in that game. Of course, the defense was trash, but since the mid 2010s, the Green Bay Packers defense has been pretty trash. It's been the offense that's kept Aaron Rodgers in these games for the last half decade at least.
It's amazing how since Charles Woodson left, that defense just absolutely imploded.
Yeah,
and you're not going to win the game with like Miles Sanders run for that many yards too. Miles Sanders was eating.
Mm-hmm.
He was eating. I think he was eating Campbell's soup like Donovan because he was gone.
Yeah, time possession and stuff, all that definitely plays a factor in it as well. But when you got to score 40 points to win a game, that just goes to show how close it really, really was. Running definitely wins the games. We saw Seattle's loss yesterday. They had no running game. Geno Smith played great. He's been having a fantastic season at quarterback there for the Seahawks. But if you don't have a running game, you're not going to win the game. You're going to lose.
And you look at what Josh Jacobs did in that game. That walk-off TD. You know what I mean? That was like you should have been letting him get some carries. I just don't know what Josh McDaniels doing, but I don't want him to come back to New England. So keep that over there. Keep that over there. Like I don't want you to return.
Coordinator-wise, he's great. He sucks the head coach. I'd rather have him as an office coordinator, or at least when he works with Tom Brady. So.
Like I was telling the Deets, I like Scott Turner. I want him. I like that. If we could offer him to come, I'll take him. I like how he play calls.
I'd rather keep him in Washington. We'll thumb wrestle for that, Rod.
Oh no, my thumbs are kind of small, so they got a chance.
Come on, dog.
I'm surprised Scott Turner would even be in. I'm surprised he's even in Washington. After the way they treated his dad, I'm surprised he's even there.
Yeah, but when Dan Snyder bought the team, he inherited Norv Turner. It was Kent Cook that had hired, Norv Turner in '94. So it wasn't his guy. So, we understand that the way he let him go sucked, but Scott Turner came over because he was an actual coordinator for the Panthers when Ron Rivera was the head coach there. So pretty much Ron Rivera got fired that December, and then he brought the rest of his team with him in January, with the ones that got fired. And Scott Turner was one of them. He pretty much brought 75% of his coaching staff from Carolina to Washington. That's why he's there. But I will definitely disagree. I do not want to see him in New England. I want to keep him in Washington. So hopefully we can at least win a game in the playoffs.
Hey, Drew, why are you here, man? I know you're a big wrestling geek like everybody else. You know what I mean? How did you enjoy the Survivor Series? What's your thoughts about it? And give us that little quick insight.
The women's championship match was a joke, in my opinion. I didn't like that one with the SmackDown Women's Championship. The War Games aspect of Survivor Series was really exciting. I liked it because with what they've done with the NXT takeovers over the years and the War Games, bringing that WCW style match into WWE, they did a great job with it. You can definitely tell over the past 90 days or so the amount of impact that Triple H and Shawn Michaels have really had since taking this over in midsummer. And, I feel like they made some small tweaks when they got it in July when Vince stepped down. But once WrestleMania hit, their best basically ending the stories that Vince had in place. I don't really count what's their impact until like the last 90 days since like SummerSlam on. So bringing back the Fiend Bray Wyatt, having this NXT War Games match come now to the main roster, what we saw with Survivor Series, we saw some great matches. The Bloodline match was definitely great. The way it ended, I liked how they got everybody involved there. Kind of having that little bit of a teaser of if Sammy was going to turn because of Kevin Owens and stuff like that. That was pretty sweet. But having the Brawling Brutes and Drew McIntyre and all of them work together as a cohesive unit, I just felt like it was a great way to end the show. As a fan of wrestling for almost the majority of my life now, my mid-30s, it's definitely been fun to watch from the Attitude Era on. And things got stale for quite some time, with Vince at the helm. He did, steer the ship for what wrestling is today, sports entertainment, and the fact that we have two big companies. We'll say a 1 and a 2 because AEW is not on the same level as WWE. To have those two today, it brings me back slightly to the Attitude Era, to being able to flip the channels to watch WCW Monday Nitro or Monday Night Raw. It has slightly the feel, not quite the same, but this is the most exciting time for any type of wrestling fan, past, present, or future, in my opinion, because we're seeing so much change and for the better.
So what is, for a question for you, what is your greatest, what do you feel like is the greatest wrestling promo of all time, in your opinion?
Which they all come from The Rock. It's tough because The Rock or the Macho Man Randy Savage. The Macho Man Randy Savage is cream of the crop. His promo there was one of the best ones, in my opinion.
Drew, that was some good fish scale he was doing that before that promo.
Oh yeah, he was definitely had some sugar up that nose to be going.
You gotta know that Eddie Macho Man promo was enhanced. Oh, yeah. He had some enhancements before he went on stage.
That was all caffeine. I know, Snowman, you're doing a great job by going 8 days without it. I personally cannot do that. As someone who quit cigarettes cold turkey in January, it's been rough. It was 2 packs a day and quit cold turkey. But it's been a long journey or whatever with that, but I couldn't do that with caffeine. But when it comes to that, Macho Man was definitely enhanced. Hulk Hogan was enhanced during that time as well, and probably for half of his NWO run as well, until probly when it fell apart.
I forgive him for that word he said. I forgive him.
Yeah, it was still messed up.
I forgive him.
Yeah, that reminds me of like not quite as bad because he wasn't as famous, but Riley Cooper with the Eagles, and when he was an idiot and said stuff like that out there, or some concert or whatever. I forget what it was, but he was like an Eagles wide receiver and just. People, I guess you're just a product of your own environment when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, but I like the Steve Cole, Steve Austin. I liked it. Shawn Michaels. I liked it.
The Rock was my favorite.
Yeah, Rock.
You bring up that Hogan to say that. Hogan should have been allowed to say that because Booker T called him that word on live television. Booker T.
Nah.
It was a no. I disagree.
One of the best interviews I've ever seen in my entire life. Because once he said it, Hogan, we coming for you, N-word. You saw it in Booker T's face. He went, "Oh shit, I'm gonna get fired." You saw it in his face, and Mean Gene, being the professional that Mean Gene was, went right on through it and was like, "Stevie Ray, what do you feel?" Like, didn't even acknowledge it for a moment. Mean Gene saved Booker T's career.
Yeah.
Now, Rod, back me up on this if you agree. I want to take this for a second. The context of what Booker T said and what Hulk Hogan said are completely different.
Yeah, the context.
I'm not excusing it at all. I'm saying it was said on live television. What Hogan did was not on live television.
Welcome to the cookouts than Hulk Hogan. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Ric Flair is more welcome to the cookouts than Yo,
Like
Hulk
The
Hogan, that really-
Rock says, or has said, he should have said this to them back then to know your role and shut your mouth, because you can't be saying that on live TV. I get what you're saying there, Dietz. It's just the context of the two are completely different. As someone who has a laminated ghetto pass from here in Richmond, Virginia, and I was gifted this. This is a long story. I cannot even give you this entire story on the show. Some of it may not be something that I can say lawfully into the public. However, because I was given this ghetto pass, I can say this. There's two different contexts here. You can say one word and the other one is definitely forbidden, and you should be, you should have to deal with the consequences if you say that one word. Hulk Hogan definitely has. Booker T didn't, because that was an approved term, has been approved for very, very long time. But the knowing your role and shutting your mouth about when and where and how to say it, you don't do it on live TV on a show where thousands and millions of kids watch the show, because that's not something that you should be advertising to young children. That's something they should hear in music as they become teenagers and figure out what they want to say in their own dialect. But when it comes to
the reason I bring that clip up, and the reason I love that clip is not what's said. It's the reaction of Booker T, as in he knew he messed up. He knew he messed up the minute he said it, and his face, and Sherry has to pull him to the side and be like, calm down, you're okay. But Booker T, you could see it in his face, I just got fired.
I never liked Sherry, man, just because she had so much makeup on her face. It was like watching a clown version of a woman on there, being a manager. She wore way too much makeup, man. It just was a turn off.
But to get back to your point, Drew, the War Games element, I have said this forever, ever since they did it on WCW. War Games is the best pay-per-views I've ever seen have been War Games, and I was so glad that they brought it back. Now it's just a matter of getting the War Games to matter. It was important to have the bloodline in there, but now you have to have somebody to go against. You have to have a faction to go against them. You can't just throw 5 guys together and go, all right, you guys fight them. You have to build that. They have to build that up for the next one.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely agree with that, because the build-up where Vince was doing stuff where he was having 3-week build-ups and then having a squash matches at the live premium pay-per-view event, whatever you want to call them nowadays, those days are done. At least we can see more creativity within the storylines of what Vince used to do back in the day, but now adapted to a different generation that's going to bring a production that we have never seen before. And we've been seeing elements of that over the past few months. And we definitely all agree on the fact that seeing what Triple H and Shawn did with NXT now bleed over into the upper roster, is the main roster, is definitely going to make a huge impact going forward in the ratings and just for fans in general.
And I think we're on the road. I think we're on the road to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. That's what I think is going to happen. And to do that, I think Cody Rhodes wins the Rumble.
Hey, Drew and Deets, what happened to the High Flyers? What happened to that game of the High Flyers?
You're not going to see that too many injuries.
Yeah, and it's we see a little bit. It's one of those things where, and even when you see what Seth Rollins did and what they did in that match with the triple threat match for the U.S. Championship in a couple days ago, there was some high flying moves, but these types of high flying moves are what's costing guys 6 to 8 months of their career. And kind of like what Cody Rhodes had. Cody Rhodes got hurt even though he was working out, and it was a pec injury. It's a little bit different. You can see the impact of what an injury can make to a big run, because we might have seen Cody taking the title from Roman at SummerSlam, potentially.
But I do miss that age of the high flyer, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, high flying. I miss it. That's why I stopped watching, because it's not enough excitement for me of the high flyer.
Yeah, you're not going to see guys taking those risks. You're not going to see guys taking those risks. It's not worth it at this point.
I missed the Eddie Guerrero frog splash. However, Montez Ford's frog splash is the best in my opinion. That elevation that man gets when he jumps up in the air, it seems like he's coming down forever when he finally hits that move. I love his frog splash, and even though I always said Eddie Guerrero's was the best,
How do you feel about his wife though? Do you think she's a good diva? Claire, what's her name? Claire something.
Bianca Belair. She's a favorite. You know, it's one of those things where like I feel like she's getting a little stale since it's a lot since
she's a great underdog. She's a terrible champion. Yeah. I mean, she's worth being a champion, but she's her matches are just it's like she just dominates. You feel like nobody's got it.
But how do you feel about the other one in AEW? What's her name? She's pretty good. I forgot her name. With the silver hair, looked like a Storm.
Toni Storm. She came from WWE.
Did she?
Yeah, because she was in WWE when the pandemic hit, and then they had travel restrictions, and she wanted to go back to her country. I forget where she's actually from, Australia or Austria or something like that. Mm-hmm. And there was a disconnect with traveling in the pandemic because of all the crazy stuff that we had, and she asked for a release. Went to AEW, built her name back up, and that's where she is now. She actually just lost the championship, I think, because they had the pay-per-view the week before, and I can't remember if she actually lost it or not. Because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even watch that pay-per-view, just because when you're watching live premium events for WWE for free, and then they're charging you $50 for AEW. I needed to buy a new computer, which this is the first show I've actually been on with my new computer because my last one took a dump. So breaking it in with Rod and you and Dietz for the lunch crew
there
today.
You go.
You're on Monday. So I didn't get a chance to watch that. I did see the highlights. I just can't remember if she won or not. I feel like she lost. But she's the interim champion because AEW does that interim champion stuff. Thunder Rosa, who is the champion, gets hurt, and I got to wait for her to come back to have the unified title match or whatever. I guess it's cool they do that, but at the same time, you might as well just strip them of the championship if they're going to be out more than 90 days.
All right. I appreciate you, Drew, coming on. Tell people where they can reach you on your social medias, your podcasts, and all that.
Well, right here on the shirt, Legacy Maker Sports Network, the sports network I'm a part of here on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, all those platforms. Weekly, you have my show, The In or Out Sports Debate. Just hit 60 episodes last week. In 2023, going to make some expansions. Have to get you guys on there at some point. I got my schedule pretty much set for the rest of this year.
Golly.
Because full-time.
Talk heavy.
It's a lot, man. I work for Geek Squad full-time, 40 hours a week, but I do this stuff on the side and just trying to make it all work out. My Google Calendar's full, man. That's why I got it booked in advance. But you can check us out at legacymakersports.com. My video brand is the Sertoba Media, where it stands for The Struggle is Real to Be Awesome for my video productions. You can check that out at sertoba.com. But every Tuesday, 8:05 p.m. Eastern, live on the Legacy Maker Sports Network is the In or Out Sports Debate. If you guys haven't seen it yet, it is a lot of factual sports knowledge. Snowman, Cole, Wise have all been there from the Snowman in the Morning show, so I definitely extend the invite out to you guys as well. Just got to work it in with the schedule, what's convenient for you guys and for me. For my fans that have come here and watched this show, Rod showed this one and going forward, thank you. Rod's up and comer building this thing up. Definitely has an entertaining show here. I love the fact that he's the #1 Troll of Snowman show, and that we get to celebrate that on a weekly basis as well. So guys, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing Totally Deets on there as well, my man. That's definitely fun. And I got one last thing to throw out for Deets. Let's see. So for the past 2 years, been rocking this weave out right here. So that way,
there it is.
Donate this unit and whatnot. I'm gonna donate next year in 2023. I'm gonna donate to like Locks for Love for the kids that that have cancer that want to have a little bit of weave, a good weave. And my mama's jeans blessed me with some great hair, so I'm rocking.
Don't hold the hair back. Don't hold the hair back. Let it go. I've told everybody I've never had long hair before, and then all of a sudden I started growing it out, and now I'm like. I want to get it cut. And everybody's like, no, don't cut your hair. No. I'm like, okay, well,
you look like sunshine. You look like sunshine. I remember the Titans.
Sunshine, yeah,
sunshine.
But no, man. Like I November 2020, I decided I was gonna let it go. It's like I'm getting older. I said I was gonna do it once, and this is my time. I got tenure at my job. Let's do it. So, but I wanted to come on here looking like the guy in the picture you put in the promo of the graphic or whatnot. So I did my best to look like that with the shirt, the hair, and just to uphold my brand's image as best as possible. Man, we have a lot of fun doing our productions, talking sports. The In or Out Sports Debate's my baby. I don't have any kids. That's my baby, and it shows, with all the episodes and all the fun we've had on there. So thank you guys again for being the supporters that you are, and look forward to bringing more entertainment on a weekly basis.
I appreciate you coming on, man, and giving us your time.
Good luck with it. Good luck with that debate with Snowman you're going to have in about 10 minutes.
And I'm about to be in the chat, so.
I'm going to bring the fire. We're going to have fun, man. So thank you guys again for the support. I'm gonna go grab a drink from the fridge and get ready for Snowman. But you guys take care. Look forward to doing this again sometime.
All right. You see me in the chat. Best believe.
Sounds like a plan, brother. Y'all take care.
All right, man.
Yeah. Thanks, Jerome.
But Deets, what you got coming up this week?
This week, obviously, we'll be getting you set up for the championship game. We'll be getting you set up for Championship Saturday. Reasons why you need to watch chaos. We're going to have chaos theories out there of what happens if so-and-so loses, what happens if so-and-so wins. Of course, we'll be predicting our wins and losses and all of that. So we'll be getting you ready for Championship Saturday, setting you up for how the playoff is going to look and all of that. I do want to say I have set a date, December 15th. So not this Thursday, not next Thursday, but the Thursday after that, we will be doing our big bowl preview. So as we always do, we play our bowl name intrigue game. We have our special guest. I just confirmed it yesterday. We have a special guest coming on. She will pick the bowl games that we break down, and she'll tell you what games are uninteresting, and That's always it's the funnest show I have all year is the bowl preview, because it's I guarantee you it's the only show where you're going to hear people talk about hair, and we talk about everything else that's not on the field about why you should watch every bowl game this year. We'll break them down and get them going. But this week we got championships. It's all about championships.
And where can they find that at?
You can find that at Fit Down Sports Show. Just go onto our Fit Down Sports page at YouTube and subscribe. You'll get the update when we post the show. When we start the show, of course, we do every show on Fit Down. Every show is live, so everybody's able to come in, chat, join the show, whatever we got going. If you can't get us on YouTube, we're on Blog Talk Radio. We're on Facebook Live. We're on Spotify. So we're all over. However you listen to whatever shows you want to get, Fit Down Sports is there. Just put it in the search, and we're always the first thing that comes up. So that's what we got going on. And thanks, Rod, for having me on. Thanks to Drew and Snowman for coming on here and hamming it up with us. But it's been good, and Reaction Monday is always fun.
It is always fun, and also tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, I have Jamie G of No Slack and the Swag. We're going to talk about the upcoming Swag Championship this Saturday I think it comes on 3:00. So we're going to review that. Also, some Swag football and how the season went and what we think is going to happen in the offseason. So that's at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. So come check that out, guys, if y'all want to check that out. And it's been a good Monday, I think. So I'll see y'all next Monday with Fifth Down Sports. He's going to be on the next Monday, and we're going to recap what happened the weekend. So it's been a good show. I'll see y'all later.